Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is the Imaginator. I'm here today to bring you guys and ladies my One Piece Manga Chapter 1039 review. The title of this One Piece Manga chapter is called Top Billing. The first page of the chapter, it appears that the Straw Hats are under this branch that's part of the tree within a forest that I can safely assume. And it has honey and a monkey on top of it. Well, it has covering honey and a monkey on it as well. The beginning of the chapter, Momonosuke is still protecting Wano from Onigashima um, by pulling it back with the flame clouds that he produced a while back. Then the battle between Big Mom, Kid, and Law resumes, and Law and Kid are actually bickering and arguing and having this competitive, conversation amongst themselves, saying whose technique is better, who's performing more better, whose attack is superior, and this and that. And then Big Mom uses her Delphi ability called Life, and she completely restores her left arm that was severely broken and injured from Law's shockwave technique. And then as Big Mom's laughing, we get the energy, Conquer Hockey energy, oozing out of her. Then Big Mom uses a powerful technique called uh, Macer Saber, and it successfully cuts Kids' uh, material that he created with his Elf ability. That created with his Elf ability. And then Big Mom, she goes on to talk about the Law and Kid that we had been referring to her and Kaido, have been ruining the seas as emperors way before y'all were waiting on your mother's milk. And then Kid uses a technique called a sign, in which he puts an S on her forehead and then puts the N on a nearby structure. And the nearby structure in her body acted as magnets. Big Mom then proceeds. She couldn't move, but then she proceeds to do a technique, much more powerful and dangerous technique called Mother's Visit Cannon Mercy. And this technique, it's not just an energy type attack. It actually forms into an actual flaming woman, lady. It's actually alive, and she uses this alive being to attack, the samurais that were present in the battle. And then Law uses his technique called Tacket, which he pretty much puts down this ginormous structure down onto Big Mom, and it successfully connects. And then he uses another ability where he uses his Delphi power and combined with his sword. It creates like a little bubbly effect. It looks like, and the sword itself extends at great lengths, like to the point where it went from where he was at in Onigashima to all the way down to the ground from where Onigashima was at, which is probably meters down. And Yamato, we see Yamato and Kanjuro's gigantic fireball of hatred witnessing this, being a witness of this. And he uses the technique, well, the slash, which is successful, slashes Big Mom, so it'll give Kid the opportunity to use his attack called the Pump. And which was kind of like a laser uh, technique that was formed of a cannon of his Delphi ability that's shaped like a cannon. Then Law ends off the chapter with an epic line saying, "Your era is over," and that's the end of the chapter. Overall, I thought the chapter was great. I liked the very first panel, like those extra like fun, non-canon and unrelated story material, and I liked the rivalry, victory between Law and Kid as they're trying to still compete against each other while fighting Big Mom to see who was performing and using better techniques overall. I like how Big Mom, like, it showed like the great representation of her restoration of her arm, of Conqueror's Hockey just oozing out, which I think was pretty well detailed. Letting the reader know that, yeah, she's back at 100%. Of course, the techniques that they use, like the mother, like what was it, a sign, which was kind of weird at first, but it was kind of pretty cool at the same time. You know, the kids as a sign technique, and Big Mom's laser saber was pretty cool. And then her mother visit Canon Mercy, or pretty much Mercy technique that turned into a flaming human woman, a flaming lady, was insane. You know, like that. That's pretty insane that she could turn her things into life. It's actually human beings. And Law's technique, of course, was a sight to behold, and showing how long and crazy his sword can extend when performing said ability. And I think that's his awakening ability. Yeah, it has to be his awakening ability overall. And yeah, overall, that's it. That's my review of that's my One Piece My Chapter 1039 review. Hope y'all all enjoyed. Please like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to my channel to Imagine for more My Chapter reviews, anime discussions, and many more. With all that being said, fellow YouTubers, y'all all have a wonderful day.